You're listening to the Womanpreneur Podcast. Empowerment in business and life.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of the Womanpreneur Podcast. My name is Melissa Moats and I am hanging out with my very talented, cool friend, Amanda McEwen.
It's me.
Hey girl, how are ya?
I'm feeling pretty grateful today.
Well, that comes in awfully handy because today is an episode dedicated to gratitude.
Yeah.
And an attitude of gratitude.
An attitude of gratitude. Yeah.
Do you have an attitude of gratitude?
I try. It's an ongoing thing. I would love to say that yes, always, but I am a human being despite what others might think and what I say sometimes. And I'm a robot. I really am human, so sometimes it's easy to forget. But we are here in America tomorrow. We're celebrating Thanksgiving. And so it's a time of year that in this country, it's like the one day a year that people remember to be grateful. And so our episode today is not about Thanksgiving it's not a list of things we're grateful for, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's more about how can you incorporate an attitude of gratitude throughout the year and how that can have a very positive impact on your life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I personally love gratitude, and it's like one of my favorite things of life.
Are you grateful for gratitude?
I'm so grateful for gratitude. Honestly, when you suggested this as a topic, I got so excited. I was like, I could talk about gratitude not only for an hour, but like for days.
I know you
for
could.
weeks.
I didn't think it would be difficult to convince you.
Yeah, you didn't have to work too hard at that.
It is, and it's a universal concept too. Like I said, it is a big American holiday, but since we have recently learned that we have quite the following in South Africa, and we have some listeners in Canada and Australia and the UK and Ireland, and they're starting to pop up all over the world.
Yeah.
The Womanpreneur Podcast has gone global.
We're global, and we want to just let you know we are super thankful for you listening, and we wanted to take a second to give you a little shout out.
Yeah,
and
we appreciate you. We are grateful for our listeners and viewers
all over the globe.
Yes.
So it's been really fun to just kind of watch this all evolve, and
it has been.
I'm really enjoying this whole process of. I feel like I've learned a lot through the process of us having this podcast, you know?
Me too.
And I feel like I've gotten even more comfortable and just even more, I don't know, I just really able to just truly feel like I can just be normal, be myself, not overthink what I'm about to say, just say it, and it's just great.
It is. That's one of the things that I am actually, not to keep using the word, but that I'm most grateful for about this podcast is I've always considered myself to be pretty self-aware, but the podcast has helped that exponentially in a lot of ways. One, in just the awareness of how I speak and how I act, and trying to avoid certain crutch words, and all of that. I also am aware that I make a lot of really weird facial expressions, and I understand that that's just me. That's just my face.
And usually they're like toward me. I've noticed they're normally toward what I'm like wearing as I joyfully describe my yellow shirts and things.
It's that kind of look. And that wasn't even intentional.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's really fun. I can bring out some of the best facial expressions that you have.
There was one in our fun episode when you were talking about exercising adult coloring book efforts. I laughed at my own face so much during that. But the reason that I'm grateful for this is it is more... Even though some of these things are awkward, and I look at it, I'm like, my face does weird things. Like, I didn't know that it did that. I can't control that, nor would I want to put in the kind of effort it would require to try to control my facial movements.
Right.
But it's that more of an acceptance, like, you know what? This is just who I am. I'm going to stumble on things. I'm awkward. I'm weird. And I love it. I love it so much.
You're perfectly imperfect.
Oh, thank you, Melissa Moats.
And you're welcome.
But it is helpful in... and the more that we've done this, and so the more people who have seen it or listened, and then I get the commentary and the fact that people are relating to it. They're like, you are just owning your awkwardness and it's fun. And I appreciate that. And it's this whole spiral in a positive way. Then it's like, yeah, I've always been okay with my weirdness, but now I feel like I'm more okay with it. And
it's like we've settled in, you know?
And it's fine.
It is.
And I will continue to make funny faces at you because we just do not think the same about things.
But somehow our friendship is perfectly imperfect.
It's perfectly imperfect.
I love it though.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I was thinking today about gratitude before we came in. And I was thinking about just sometimes it's when that conversation comes up, the obvious pops in your head. It's like you'll ask yourself the question of, what are you grateful for? And a lot of people will talk about, their families or their husbands, their wives, their cats, their dogs, the people in their life, their, that kind of stuff, which really, I think the people in our lives are what makes our lives so special. I mean, really,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what adds so much depth and just, I don't know, for me, it's just all the love and all the joy. But I will say that sometimes taking some time to really practice gratitude, and a lot of people keep gratitude journals and they write every day about what they're grateful for, or they'll do challenges around the Thanksgiving, or just sometimes people any time of the year will just do like a gratitude challenge where for 30 days they'll write down something that they're grateful for, or they'll have some kind of an action to take on their gratitude. What if we had to do that every day? 365 days a year. Yep. One thing that I've really learned that's come very clear to me in the last few years is that when you are practicing gratitude daily, like it's just a part of your being, of being grateful all the time, it really takes away from anxiety. If you struggle at all with being anxious, or being anxious is worrying about the future. A lot of times being sad or down or depressed has a lot to do with thinking about the past. But when you are living in a place of gratitude, that really places you right in the present moment. Because when you're grateful, you're just super aware, you're hyper aware of everything that you have around you, physically, emotionally, in all ways. And so for me, it's like, if I ever catch myself in a bad mood or just in a funky mindset, sometimes I'll just take a second and I'll do a gratitude check. Like, what am I grateful for right now? Like, Melissa Moats, calm down. Like, what is wrong with you? Why are you being so salty, And I'm like, about something really lame. Or I might just be in a bad mood for really no reason at all. It's just, I don't know,
Sometimes
hormonal, whatever. And then I'm like, what is wrong with me? I've got such a beautiful life. Let's take a pause and do a little gratitude check. So that really helps. And so if you're ever feeling like, you're not happy with where you are in your life, or you're comparing yourself to other people, or just whatever the case may be, just take a second, pause, and think about everything you do have and how that makes you feel. Because when you're really aware of what you have, just the lights turn on, it gets a lot brighter.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that we talk about a lot in terms of mindset or building habits or any of that. But once you start to do something repeatedly, it becomes your natural way. And sometimes it takes effort. If you're not used to practicing gratitude, it just might not come into your mind. But that's why I think those challenges are good kickstarters. To just say, because if you can hold yourself accountable to an action once a day for 30 days, why not continue that after the fact? You accomplished 30 days, maybe you could do more. My microphone doesn't like to stay in its position. So I don't know. I have some kind of gravitational force thing that's happening anyhow. So, but it's one I've heard you talk about it, and our friend John McClain says it too. It's sometimes little things like shifting, I have to do this versus I get to do this, and making those little things to where maybe, and this just happened to me this week with a whole lot of work and getting a little, not quite stressed out, but feeling almost overwhelmed because everything happened all at once. And there were moments during it when I was just feeling, okay, how am I going to get all of this done in the right amount of time? It's like, let's just stop for a minute. Like, how grateful am I that I have all this work coming at me? Even if it comes all at once, I still would appreciate if things could spread out a little bit and not just always happen all at the same time. But I will never complain about, I can't believe I have all this work to do. Because work is income and it allows me to do fun things.
And it's a huge compliment to you that people are like, hey, Amanda McEwen, in demand, on demand. We all want her at the same time because she's so awesome.
Right.
But
that is not a bad thing. That is something
not a bad
that
thing.
I can feel grateful about every time. Every time I get a new job or a new client, every time I'm grateful for that, because when you run your own business, there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's really easy. I've seen this with so many people that they get bogged down when things are bad, and they don't stop to take a second to realize things might not be perfect right now, but it could be way worse. I mean, look what you get to do. You get to have this freedom or this flexibility, or you've gotten to do all of these great things in your career and meet all these great people. And there's all sorts of different things that usually those rough patches, they're fleeting, they're temporary, because hopefully you're making the effort to correct them, to fix them, or move past them. But it's really easy for people in general, just human nature, to get bogged down by negativity. And you kind of have to find little ways to remind yourself not to let that happen.
Yep.
Instead of focusing on everything that's going wrong, what's going right? Let's just start thinking about that, focus our energy on what's going right. Helps with a lot of clarity sometimes too.
yeah. And I think too, like, a couple of ideas were popping in my head as you were sharing, about business and different things. For me, when I was going through challenges with my health, and I, had a few days, I had some pretty big surgeries, and, just standing up and walking across the room was like a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And I remember laying there and thinking, oh my gosh, how many times have I just taken my legs, put them on the side of my bed, stood up and walked out of this bedroom and didn't even think about it. And it was so easy to do. And I just did it, on autopilot. And I'm laying here now, and, I've got my abdomen all bound up because I had a pretty big abdominal surgery. And it's going to take me 15 minutes to just put, my 2 feet down on the floor, and to stand up and to be able to, walk a few steps. And I remembered thinking to myself, but I'm able to do it, and I'm so grateful that I can. And as I heal, I promise that I will not ever take for granted how easy it is to just be able to get out of bed and stand up. Yeah. And one of the things that I have practiced since going through some really, really challenging physical times through my surgery and my cancer journey is the first thing I think every morning when I wake up is thank you. Those are the two words that pop in my head every morning. And when I sit up and I put my feet on the ground, it's like my foot goes, my left foot, my right foot, they just go on the floor, and it's in sync. I think thank you as my feet touch the floor.
Is it always your left foot first?
Yeah, it is.
I want to challenge you tomorrow to try to put your right foot down first.
Because then I'll have to say you think. Oh, but I do.
You do think. So
I love it.
Because they say you should always put your best foot forward. So what if both feet could be your best feet?
My left foot is my best foot.
I'm stretching now on this one, guys.
My left foot is my best foot.
Your left foot is your best foot?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's prettier. No, but I really do think, I do think thank you every day when I get up in the morning. And, it's just, I just remember when I was going through that time, I made a little promise to myself, and I just thought, I just don't ever want to take my life for granted, and I don't want to take, any day that I get to, experience things again, experience the people in my life again for granted. And so when you are in good health and you are in good heart and good mind, and you're able to, eat, and you're able to, sleep in a warm bed, and all those basic things that I think we often take for granted, it's just maybe coming up with a little daily practice, a moment in your life every day that you just say thank you, because we are so fortunate.
Well, I just think that the concept of thank you, and is if you can catch yourself when you're having those negative feelings, whether they're about a person, about a work situation, about your health, about anything, to just catch yourself taking that thought and just think, okay, but what can I thank that person, that situation, whatever for? Because there are times you're frustrated with a person. A lot of times it's people. And you might be really mad at that person, whatever. But chances are, if they're in your, hopefully, maybe you listened to last week's episode and you're only surrounding yourself with good people, we hope. But even if somebody is you're feeling pain that's related to somebody else, you're probably thankful for something that person did for you, something that you learned from them, an experience you had, something. It's much easier and healthier to focus on that, on the good things that came from that relationship with that person or that situation, whatever that might be. Focus on that instead. So if you start to feel like, or
just the personal growth, it's
right.
like, take a second to think about it and to think about it. Mm-hmm. Think and think, because it's like, if you think about it and then you think about it, you can always find the good in the situation.
Right. And then that's your takeaway. And you can let all that negative stuff just kind of fall away, because it doesn't matter. And that's the gist of it. It's so easy to hang on to all the negativity and the bad things that have happened, and this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Maybe something else is going to work out better. Again, I always say that I believe that everything happens the way it's meant to. It doesn't always feel like that at the time.
In the moment, yeah.
And we completely understand that. But it's always that, okay, I need to focus on the good thing that came from this. And the other stuff in the long term, it's not going to matter. I mean, it really isn't. It only matters if you allow it to. And you can't change what happened. It's already happened. It's in the past. Learn from it. Take the good lessons from it. But let the other stuff, just let it out. It doesn't need to live there with you anymore.
Another thought, too, is like, if you want to start incorporating more of an attitude of gratitude into your life, maybe it's something as simple as initially just putting a Post-it note, on your mirror in your bathroom where you brush your teeth that just says thank you or grateful or gratitude, so that while you're standing there and you're brushing your teeth, it's just like a little reminder, like, oh yeah, I want to just take this next 1 to 2 minutes as I make my pearly whites look fantastic. I'm going to just think about what I'm grateful for. And it might even be, I'm just so grateful that I can stand in my bathroom and brush my teeth with this amazing toothpaste right now. Maybe it's something as simple as that. But it's practicing. Oh, go ahead.
It's probably just me, but for some reason, all I'm seeing is like in elementary school, back when I was in elementary school, there was always that picture of the cat, and it said hang in there. It was like a whole cat with his paws up in the air and he was hanging out. It was like the motivational poster of all schools.
Really?
Yeah. And for some reason, when you were talking about that, that was just...
Did it happen as a cartoon in your mind?
No, this is a real poster. I do see a lot of cartoons in my mind. But.
We were at dinner the other night and Amanda was like, yeah, it's really weird. Like a lot of things that, I see like just super show up in my mind as a cartoon.
There's a lot of weird stuff in my head. It's probably a good thing that they haven't invented a way to see inside. I mean, my dreams especially, I would scare some people.
Things get cartoony, do they?
Well, my dreams are not cartoony, but sometimes just what goes on in my head. It's there's some strange elements of creativity in my subconscious. Just leave it that way.
You have a good imagination.
But you know what? I'm grateful for it, because sometimes it makes me laugh. And if my own brain can subconsciously make me laugh, that's a pretty good day.
That's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
Well, I was also going to suggest that you think about the idea of practicing gratitude similarly to how you might go about something like practicing yoga or practicing, what else do we practice? People practice medicine. People practice law. People practice balancing on a tightrope. I don't know, but
They're unicycle writing skills.
the idea is practicing, and practice makes perfect. So in the beginning, it might feel a little weird, but just having the awareness of gratitude is huge. I did actually make a few notes for myself about a few not so everyday things that I'm really grateful for that I just wanted to share.
List. And my
There's
facial
just a few.
expressions.
There's just a few. I just wanted to acknowledge a few things that were really important to me, okay?
Okay.
Speaking of gratitude, number one, I would like to thank whoever it was who decided to put stretch in denim. I am grateful.
As are women all around the world.
I'm talking 1% of stretch in some denim. That changes some things, my friends. And I have some deep gratitude for that. I'm also very grateful for inspirational quotes. And I think that they play a really great part in life. I'm also grateful for pumpkin spice anything. Pumpkin spice your life. All of you friends, and some people, they're hating on the pumpkin spice right now.
Did you just say pumpkin spice your life?
Yeah. Yes.
Facial expression, pumpkin spice your life.
Pumpkin spice your life. Why
We are
not?
so different.
Why would you not want to I'm going to pumpkin spice you.
Yeah, tell me how that works.
I don't know
I don't
yet.
drink coffee,
I'm going to think
so
about
I will never
it.
drink the pumpkin spice latte, which I think is where the stems.
I think I'm going to make you some pumpkin spice juice from your juicer.
Ew.
We're going to substitute your celery
Please
juice.
don't put a pumpkin in my juicer.
I'm going to put a pumpkin in your juicer.
You will not come in my house and put a pumpkin in my juicer.
You don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm going to do.
I do.
But I think pumpkin spice is really great. And I want to also say, I have a couple more on my list.
I know you do.
Okay.
It's you. I'm familiar with your list habits.
I'm also very thankful for the fact that leopard and camouflage are in style right now. And I'm thankful that I trusted my gut and I held on to all of my leopard things that I loved so much about a decade ago because I knew they'd come back in style.
Did you have a lot of leopard things?
I had quite a few leopard dresses.
Enough that Abby is crying, laughing over here. So I just wanted to point that out. I see you over there. Melissa must have had a lot of leopard. It was a phase. She thought she was a cat.
Yep. I have some leopard going on. I'm also thankful for Doritos and the fact that I know how to eat them properly, which is you want to open up the bag upside down because all of the MSG that makes them so good goes to the bottom of the bag, all the nacho flavoring, and most people make a mistake and they open it from the top. They're missing out on some really good nacho flavoring.
I am grateful that I don't eat MSG
Well,
or Doritos.
You're missing out. Doritos are pretty special. So shout out to Doritos. Hey, love to do your voiceovers. Just saying. And last but not least, I wanted to mention that I'm thankful for the color. This is kind of like burnt orange, this shirt that I'm wearing right now. And I want to be thankful for these weird puffy sleeve things. What is this even called?
I like puffy sleeve things. I don't like puffy sleeve things, but I like the words puffy sleeve things.
You know what? I'm trying out something new, which is puffy sleeve shoulder stuff.
I like that the majority of your grateful list is fashion related. It's funny because we were having a conversation a little bit earlier, and for the women listening, you will relate to this. There are those days where you just hate every piece of clothing that you own.
Yeah.
And I was having a day like that, and I told Melissa, this is probably the girliest thing I will ever say.
Yeah.
But I'm having one of those days where I just hate everything that I own. However, I am grateful that I have clothes, that I have options. Well, I'm grateful that most of the time I don't have to wear real clothes because I'm working from home.
That's what you said right before we shot
one.
this episode today. Amanda's sitting off to the side and she's like, I'm grateful most of the time I don't even have to wear clothes. She's like, I wear clothes, but I don't have to wear clothes.
But I don't have to.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm grateful.
That is really nice. That is a really nice thing.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that happens. But that little example to where, sure, I might in the moment be frustrated with my entire closet because part of it, as I was explaining to Melissa, I don't like to spend money on clothes. I also really don't like to shop. So if somebody wanted to just purchase me an entire wardrobe, I would be thrilled. I would love clothes then.
Spending money on clothes is like the most fun thing to spend money on.
For you.
And to go shopping. And for me, I know. What's fun for you to spend money on? I'm just curious.
Concerts, vacations, experiences.
That's good.
Clothing, it just my entire life, it's just never been a focus. Part of it, and I don't want to anger anybody here, because here again we go. I will never complain about having long legs. I am grateful for my long legs. However, it can be very difficult to dress long legs because they don't make it long enough. When you have a 35-inch inseam,
Wow.
It's very difficult. Luckily, I don't wear heels, because if I wore heels, then it would have to be even longer. I already have to buy most of my stuff online because they don't carry it in stores. Again, not complaining, just frustrating.
Yeah.
But when you are shorter, you can hem your pants. You can't just sew on extra pants to the end. I mean, you can. That's a different fashion choice.
It's a little obvious.
I don't have those skills. I don't think I should use a sewing machine. I feel like I would be that person that sewed myself to the fabric. So we're just going to avoid that for me. But again, very grateful to be taller. You know, I'm not a giant. I mean, you're taller than me, but a lot of those are examples of just little things every day that you can be grateful. There are good qualities that everybody has. There are good people around us. There's just a lot. There's a lot to be grateful for if you're paying attention to it. Yeah. Just look around, and to me, I love those little things. Like some of your things on your list are very important. Like sometimes for me, it's all we know how I like my desserts. But sometimes it's that first bite of whatever it is, that piece of cake, or for me, it's usually some kind of fruit tart or something, but just the enjoyment out of that. I am grateful every single time.
Yeah. I'm just grateful listening to you describe it, because I feel like I just had a bite of cake.
Perfect.
But I mean, I will later.
The calories.
I know. Well, now I'm going to probably want to, but going back to what you said, I enjoy shopping for the super cute outfit to go to the concert but I will say that I've really changed my footwear. I'm all about the comfort these days. I mean, I like my shoes to be cute, but I like my feet to be really comfortable and not my feet to not hurt. And I used to not care, but I'm in a new chapter with that.
It has been a regular life choice for me to choose comfort over fashion. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I wouldn't love to be a fashionable person or to get excited about the cute outfits. I mean, I feel like I know how to color coordinate at least, but I'm very simple. So I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl, always will be. Yeah. Again, fortunately, because of my height, I don't feel that I have to pretend that I'm taller by wearing heels. To me, that's not comfortable. Like if I go to some kind of formal event and like my feet are dying by the end of the night, I don't like that.
When Amanda goes to a formal event, she wears her fancy t-shirt and her fancy jeans.
And that's the thing. I
love that.
I do like to wear dresses. I do. It doesn't make sense for what I do work-wise.
You wear a fancy dress.
Which is a big part of it. I need the occasion to call for it. It's not an everyday thing.
Yes.
And most of the time, even at the most formal events, I'm still wearing flats.
Yep.
Luckily, in Vegas, things are, even with formal things, can be pretty casual, so it's good. But
you wore a fancy dress to that little event that I had to go to. What was that, about a year ago?
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, Melissa Motes, I love you so much that I'm going to wear a dress for you." And I was like, that's a friend right there.
But it's good. And because I don't do it all the time, then it's different. It has a different effect. If I dress that way all the time and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's to me, it's the comfort. And part of it, I think, because I've had so many pain issues my whole life.
Yeah.
And those shoes are not good for us. And we know that. And some women don't care. And I'm all for it. Like there are times when I see it, I'm like, I would love to be that kind of person that can wear they look so put together and so great, but I know that's never going to be me. And that's okay. That comes from that.
It's going to hurt my back is what I think. And I think, or my hips. I'm like, my hips don't lie. I'm like Shakira. I do not want to ache. It's just not worth it. But for all of our listeners and for all of our viewers, just take a second and think about something you're grateful for. Maybe you've been thinking about it throughout the whole episode today because we've been talking about it for, A little bit.
You know what happened when I'm just going to interrupt you.
No,
'cause
just
I'm
go ahead.
grateful that you allow me to speak when I need to.
do.
When I got in the car today to drive over here, Iron Maiden was on. And that made me happy. I was grateful, turned the volume way up, got to listen to the Trooper. That's a good way to get, for me, for somebody who loves cheesy 80s metal, that made me very happy. Music in general is one of those things that will probably be more grateful for than a lot of things, because that's had a lot of impact my entire life. But sometimes just getting in the car and that one song comes on and you can just turn it way up.
It's the best.
It's
funny.
Good. It's good stuff.
My older brother that I was talking about in our last episode, Pookie, I texted him the other day because I turned on my car, and right when I turned my car on, Billy Joel's "Keeping the Faith" came on, and I love that song. And I cranked it up, and it reminded me of my brother right away. It's just a song we both really love. It was perfect, cool morning, rolled my windows down, and I was like, right now, I am just so happy that I'm alive. Like, I was like, this moment, this is what life is worth living for. Yes. It's just like this moment. So I texted my brother and I said, hey man, later on, just get in your car and turn on the song "Keeping the Faith" by Billy Joel, and start your car and roll your windows down and just take a moment to see what that feels like. And he wrote back, well, someone's having a good day. And I was like, I am.
And sometimes you just want to capture that feeling. So if you have that small moment where some little thing is bringing you joy, like just stop if you can. I mean, if you're driving, maybe don't just stop in the middle of the road, but just taking a moment to appreciate that. And okay, what is this feeling? This is a feeling that's worth chasing. And then you actively seek other things that are going to do that for you. And you can just keep being grateful about all of that. And
you just want to bottle it.
It doesn't always have to be a giant moment. Although some of those, I mean, you're talking about Billy Joel, and that he always has a special place in my heart. Because my dad and I, when I was a kid, I don't think he really knew how to relate to me. I mean, he didn't have girls. He's like me, didn't actually want kids. So that's probably always a struggle too. But there's that time, that's just kind of awkward, and we would be somewhere alone, and like, what are we supposed to do? And we would go to the Pizza Hut, because back in the day, you could actually go inside. I don't know if you still can. But we'd play the jukebox, and there was one day we were in there, and we both put on Piano Man. And that was the first kind of bonding, I guess, experience, because we both, we can talk about music. And that's something that has carried on into our entire relationship. We don't have like a father-daughter relationship at all. We're more friends, and we talk about things like music and movies and books, and I'm grateful to have that. But when we're talking about the big moments, when I had the opportunity to meet Billy Joel, I was working on a project with a friend, and we were interviewing his keyboardist, and we were just backstage, and there he was, and then we had this long conversation. And I actually got to talk to him about how his music, or that one particular song, is pretty much the basis of my relationship with my dad. That's a pretty big moment, and something that I carry with me as a moment of gratitude. That, and when you say that things kind of work out in life, like there's no way I could have ever predicted at 6 or 7 years old that my career path would somehow take me to the opportunity to meet Billy Joel and talk to him about listening to his song on a jukebox in Pizza Hut. Or that going to a U2 concert when I was 11 and having listened to that band my entire life, that somehow all these years later I would end up making a documentary about them and all of this. Like, when we try not to force things, because life just, when you let it do what it's supposed to, and you're just grateful and you believe that things can happen, things happen. And a lot of people might think, oh, well, you're just lucky or this or that. It takes a lot of work to think in a positive way and believe that things work out and all of that stuff. And somebody recently asked me, like, it was like somebody posted on Facebook or something. It's like, what is your secret? You just seem happy and something else. And it's like, I choose to be happy. That's the secret. It's not, it's not easy. It's not that it's easy, but it is that simple.
You work at it. It's just one of those things.
You choose.
Yeah, you choose.
Everything that we do, everything that we feel, all of it, it's a choice. Very active thought and action to get there, but you start small, just like with everything.
Yep, absolutely. I really love talking about gratitude. I'm in a really great mindset right now. I'm just like, I was drinking my pumpkin spice latte on my way here. I texted Amanda and I was like, hey, I'm going to stop at Starbucks and get a pumpkin spice latte because we're going to do our gratitude episode. And I was like, it's just going to really make me feel really good. And I brought her green tea with her magic powder in it.
I was just showing off for the camera for those of you who are listening.
I love it.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
I appreciate that.
And I wore my burnt orange shirt because for some reason, whenever I think of Thanksgiving or this season, I just get really in the mood to wear kind of like a, pumpkin spice color.
Why did you go into your seductive voice when you're talking about what you're going to wear in the fall?
I don't know. I just wanted to really feel it.
I don't know if I would even call that orange.
What color is this?
I don't know. It's
pumpkin spice?
Is it sienna? Oh, burnt sienna.
sienna.
Abby for the win.
Thank you, Abby.
I don't know what it is, but it's a very good color on you.
Thank you.
It looks nice.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was really excited about it. I was like, this seems to be the right shirt to wear for our pumpkin spice episode.
It is not a pumpkin spice episode. I wonder for all those who are not in America, is this even a thing? And in our other countries, could you send us a message and let us know if everywhere else has gone crazy with pumpkin spice? I mean, it's gotten ridiculous in the United States.
My friend Carissa Ship, she sent me, hi Carissa Ship.
Hi Carissa.
We love you. She listens to our podcast religiously.
Yes, she
She's
does.
Amazing. She's I think our number one fan. Oh, she texted me she sent me some cute pictures. But okay, sorry.
That's really interesting for all our viewers and listeners, right?
Sorry, guys. What I was going to tell you is she sent me this great meme. I'm going to read it right now. It says, I spilled my pumpkin spice latte, and now a bunch of ants are making brunch plans and doing yoga. That was a great text to get from my friend Carissa. So anyway.
Yeah, while you were doing that, another one of those things that I'm really grateful for people who don't use their phones when they're with people in person.
Oh,
it's just, it's one of those things. The world has changed and everybody's so attached to their phones, but it's so disheartening for me at times. Because we know I don't like to spend a lot of time with a whole lot of people. I kind of am a homebody. We've all figured this out by now. And so when I do make the effort to go and see a person, like a real person in person, and then I'm trying to have a conversation and that person is on the phone the whole time.
Yeah.
It is fine. Perfectly fine.
Can I just be really bold and bossy right now?
Please do.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
Oh, to camera.
Everyone, put your phones down. Back away. Step away from the cell phones.
Unless that's the device you're listening to this podcast on, then
That's
keep
fine.
it. Keep letting it play, please.
Especially when you're hanging out with the people you love. Look at them. Look into their eyes. See them smile. Feel the moment. Yeah, man.
There are times I do notice it when I'm with somebody. I'm like, that person did not pick up his or her phone the entire time. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. I'm with you. I try to be really mindful of it. Or try to exercise some great phone etiquette. I'm sorry, excuse me for one moment. I need to take a look at my phone to check whatever. Sometimes it's during my work day, I will do that. I'll say, I'm so sorry, excuse me a second. I just need to check something. And then check it and then check it. You know what I'm saying? Put that thing away. Put it away. So you can,
that's a meme right there. Check it and then check it. But it was your hand gestures and everything.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love your people, love your tribe, and enjoy the moment and have gratitude for the moment so that you can just experience something. You can't. That's one thing that I love that my husband has said is he says you can't be in this moment, right here with me if you're in that moment doing that thing there. So he'll say, finish that moment so you and I can have our moment together. And that was back when I was a little bit too much of a phone junkie. And it took hearing him say that to me where I was like, oh my God, he's right. Like, I'm not having a moment with him right now if I've got this phone in my face and I'm having a moment with whoever else or reading whatever else. So just some food for thought, you know, it really helped change my thought process on that.
Yeah, I like that, because I know there are people who think they can do both.
And you can't.
They're just like, oh, okay, I'm listening. You know, they're
no
on
one
their
gets
phones.
a moment then.
You know,
no
like,
one does.
I'm listening. You know, I can do two things at once.
You can't.
And I test people like that sometimes, because I know what's possible and what's not. And it's fine, because sometimes you have a busy job, you have things going on. Sometimes you have to address them. It's not a personal thing, but it's like, I always appreciate that. Can you just tell me, like, hey, hold on a second, I got to do this thing real fast, and then come back. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, because it's like, so here's the thought. It's like, so you're sitting with someone you really love and you like to spend time with, and you could be actually experiencing real life time and moments with them. But instead, while you're with them, you're going to go into cyberspace and hang out and look at what other people are doing on Facebook, that moments that they posted that they just had, while you could be making your own moments.
Right.
So it's just an interesting thought process. I'm going to watch people have moments while I could be having mine.
Yeah, I see that going back to the concerts and things, the number of people now that don't enjoy the show because they watch the whole thing through their screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you see all of these other people are doing the same thing, so you can go home and watch it on YouTube later, but you're actually in the moment. Maybe enjoy it, because I like to see, and this is just habit from mine, because I've been going to concerts since I was a kid. I like to see the faces, because they're, especially when it's a really good band and you can feel the chemistry between them, and you see the way that they interact. Like, I love to observe all of that. Not only that, but I also like to observe the people in the audience, because some of them, it moves them so much, and when they're in the moment. But I've been to shows with people, and I've had some really good personal moments with bands and with artists and singers, because sometimes they're looking for a connection, and when everybody in the front has a screen out and I'm the only one that's actually watching, there's some eye contact, there's some moments that happen that have been great. I saw a video, I think it was Rob Halford from Judas Priest, to go back to my 80s metal, but there was a video that he was at a show and somebody was in the front row with their phone. He ran and kicked the phone out of their hand, flew across the venue in the middle of the song. I've watched it so many times. I'm like, this is fantastic. Because it was just like, dude, you paid to come see me play. Get off the phone. He just kicked it out of his hand.
Seriously.
Yes.
It's like just life.
Yeah.
Don't miss it.
Yeah. Be grateful that you get to be in that moment, because I had to find some way to bring it back around to gratitude.
No, good work.
But be grateful for the moments that you get to live in person. At least that's the way I look at it. My phone and the things on the phone are always going to be there. I reserve that for when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Because that's a different kind of, okay, let's see what these people are up to. Let's see what's going on in the world. But if you're here, I want to know what's going on with you. Like, let's have our moment right now.
Yeah, let's create a moment.
Right.
Let's create a new, fresh moment. Yeah. And for all of our friends celebrating Thanksgiving, we want you to know that we're thinking about you. And one of my favorite things about the word Thanksgiving is thanks and giving actually is an action. It's an action word. Yeah. So give your thanks today. Give your thanks every day. And as we kind of wind down this episode today, I would like to share a really beautiful quote that my daughter, Abby, loves. And she reads it every single day when she starts her day. And she wrote it down for me so I could read it. So the quote is, "What if the only things in your life you had, the people, the opportunities, the resources, all the things, what if you could only keep tomorrow the things you expressed gratitude for today?" Thanks for tuning in. We are thankful for you.
Thanks for tuning into the Womanpreneur podcast. Until next time, you've got this.